Forget Silicon Valley. The AI revolution is starting in a rice field. China is turning farmland into a $37 billion data island to crush the US lead. Is this the Stargate that changes everything? Let's explain it. Deep in China's Yangtze River region, one of the country's richest economic zones, something unexpected is happening. Huge tech plans are taking shape in the middle of ordinary rice fields. On a 760-acre island near the city of Wuhu, land once used for farming is set to become home to massive data servers meant to power nearby wealthy cities. According to the Financial Times, this site is just one piece of a much larger national project, which one executive involved has dramatically nicknamed the Stargate of China, signaling how serious Beijing is about turning farmland into the backbone of its digital future. Right now, China controls only about 15% of the world's AI computing power, compared to roughly 75% held by the United States, according to research from Epic AI. To close that gap, China isn't rushing blindly. Instead, it's choosing a slower, more strategic path by bringing together many scattered data centers into one connected system. These facilities will be tied into a single nationwide network using advanced technology from Huawei, allowing China to boost efficiency and compete more seriously with the US without starting entirely from scratch. That same stretch of farmland is expected to turn into a data island. Basically, a huge hub packed with data centers run by 4 major players: Huawei, China Mobile, China Telecom, and China Unicom. The location isn't random either. It's close to big cities like Shanghai, Hangzhou, and Nanjing, so those areas can get quicker, smoother computing service. The idea is simple: less delay, faster results. Like when AI tools need to respond instantly, including newer assistant-style apps that act on your requests in real time. The Wuhu project alone is estimated at about $37 billion. Big, but still far smaller than the $500 billion Stargate goal. And it's just one piece of a much wider plan. China is also building data hubs in Ulaanbaatar, Guizhou, and Qingyang to support major cities nearby, while older, remote data centers are being shifted to focus on training large AI models. The story goes even further, with AI chips sitting unused in distant, power-rich regions. Starting in 2022, China pushed to build huge server farms in these remote provinces. But because there weren't enough nearby users, a lot of that equipment barely got used, even as demand exploded in major cities, partly because local officials didn't want to give up control. Now the plan is to connect all these centers into one system using Huawei's UB mesh technology, so they can back each other up and even sell extra computing power instead of letting it go to waste. What's surprising is that this pileup of unused chips isn't stressing Beijing anymore. The city of Wuhu is now offering subsidies that can cover up to 30% of the cost of buying AI chips, which shows how eager China is to develop these slower, less built regions quickly. Since the country can't legally import most top-tier AI GPUs from NVIDIA, it has to lean on homegrown alternatives that still lag behind in power. That gap helps explain why smuggling advanced chips has become tempting, even if NVIDIA itself isn't losing sleep over it, given how difficult that is to scale in the real world. Right now, China and the United States are in a hard-fought race for control of advanced chips, with China trying to catch up while the US works to slow it down. Trade limits have pushed Beijing to build its own AI technology from the ground up, which could backfire by making China less dependent on American systems in the long run. Add in China's push to rapidly expand AI computing both near big cities and in rural regions, and it's clear the country is positioning itself as a serious competitor that isn't planning to step aside anytime soon. And with that chapter closing, the focus shifts to something just as important: energy. As China pushes forward with AI and heavy infrastructure, it's also rapidly reshaping the global energy map. In only a few years, the country has sharply expanded its renewable and nuclear power capacity, outpacing much of the world in the process. That surge doesn't just keep the lights on, It lays the groundwork for the next wave of large-scale industry and technology growth. China's heavy push into clean energy is turning it into a natural hub for the digital era. As AI systems, robots, and massive data centers demand enormous amounts of electricity, having abundant, reliable, and low-cost power is quickly becoming a decisive advantage. The shift is clear. China's solar power now produces more electricity than the entire U.S. nuclear fleet, backed by long-term planning and heavy state investment. By early 2025, monthly solar output topped 125 terawatt-hours, far above U.S. nuclear levels, and China is deliberately building excess power so it can easily support energy-hungry tech like AI, cloud services, and electric vehicles when demand surges. In early 2025, China more than doubled its solar installations from the year before, adding more capacity than the rest of the world combined and reaching about 67% of global installs. At the same time, nuclear is becoming central to China's long-term strategy. It already leads global nuclear construction and is targeting roughly 200 gigawatts by 2030 and up to 500 gigawatts by 2050, far beyond current expansion plans in the United States. Looking ahead to 2050, China is aiming for about 500 gigawatts of nuclear power, compared to the United States target of roughly 400 gigawatts, a goal that still lacks firm funding. Nuclear gives China two big advantages: steady, always-on electricity to balance solar and wind, and a secure, carbon-free power source. That kind of reliability is critical for non-stop industries like AI supercomputing, chip factories, and robotics. Together, China's rapid push into renewables and nuclear is reshaping the global energy balance. Its solar output now exceeds U.S. nuclear generation, and its nuclear build-out is the fastest in the world, all aimed at powering an AI-driven future. While the U.S. still leads in innovation, countries with the most cheap, clean, and reliable energy will dominate the digital economy, and China is clearly racing to be among them.